Hey there, fellow travelers of the cinematic cosmos. I'm your guide, Joseph Charafi, and I'm here to invite you to ride shotgun on a wild journey we call Flashback Montage. On this trip, we'll plunge headfirst into the glorious chaos of film, TV, and the strange tales of lifestyle coaches who have shifted the tides of human consciousness. In each episode, we'll storm the gates of a different year, exploring the psychedelic depths of the stories that made us weep, laugh, and redefine the American dream. So my friends, throw your aviator glasses on, grab some popcorn, and buckle up for a mind-bending escapade. Subscribe to Flashback Montage on YouTube, and together we'll dance with the ghosts of our favorite celluloid memories. See you on the other side. Welcome to Flashback Montage, the podcast where we take a trip down memory lane and revisit some of the most iconic movies, TV shows, and cultural moments of the past. I'm your host, Joseph Charafi, and each week I'll be joined by a special guest as we dive into a specific year and explore the highlights of that time. From blockbusters that defined the era to shows that kept us glued to our screens, we'll relive the nostalgia and celebrate the classics that still hold up till today. But we won't just be talking about entertainment. We'll also take a look at the lifestyle coaches who inspired and influenced us and how they make their impact still felt in our lives today. So it's a journey through time that will make you laugh, reminisce, and maybe even shed a tear. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's make a trip down memory lane with Flashback Montage. This week's wonderful guest is Trenton Brisco. He is a producer, a writer, and an actor, as well as my friend. So I'm just super honored to have him on the show with us. Trenton, could you just give the audience a little background about you and your interests?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Joey, thank you so much for having me. It sounds like a fun time here today. I was looking forward to it all week when you told me about this. I've been in the business all my life since I was a 15-year-old kid. I always wanted to be an actor, a producer, a writer. Went down a crazy path in life, but I've continued to stay on and wanting to do all that stuff and focus on it as much as possible and at least die doing what I love, you know. I've been up and down the coast of California, and now I've planted myself in Las Vegas because it's the place to be, to jump on over to LA whenever I need to, and even over to Atlanta. So I'm happy to be here, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So what would you say is, do you think TV and film in general, do you think that they've made an impact on your life as you are as a person, or as you were as a kid, or as you are as an adult? Like, could you expand upon that possibly?
TV and film are my life because they just watching over the years. I remember watching like Grease 2 over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I say over and over again, I'm talking over and over again, a little obsessed.
And not Grease, Grease 2.
Yeah.
With Michelle Pfeiffer. I
thought I was Johnny.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Is Johnny the British guy, or is Johnny the head of the T-Birds?
Head of the T-Birds.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to meet him recently too.
Oh wow.
It was kind of cool to see him in person, but what it did was it carried over into my elementary days when I was in school. I actually started my own little gang. We were called the Little Buff Boys, and I was being Johnny, and I had my little shirt rolled up, and I told my friends to wear their shirt rolled up. So yeah, of course it was kind of silly, but it was fun. Looking back, it's fun. So, and then over the years, I don't know what it is. Movies are my getaway. Movies are what I do to, if someone says, "Hey, what do you do in your spare time?" Do you play football, basketball, or what do you do? And I watch movies, man. I watch, especially now with this new binge watching TV series with the, all the online components to it.
Mm-hmm.
I will just binge watch all day if it's something that I like. So it's definitely impacted me a lot. And
wow. What was your way of getting your movies back in the day? Like, would you go to a Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, or like?
I even got a job at Blockbuster just so that I could reach.
I worked at Blockbuster too.
No way.
Yeah, when I was in college, I did graphic design for them too, for new movies. They needed posters done. They'd pay me a little extra.
I only did it because my friend was a manager, and I could work one day a week, and I get free movies.
Yeah, free movies. Blockbuster. That's crazy. That's amazing. I never knew that. That's so cool. Well, that's amazing. Well, why don't we just go ahead and get into it? Why don't we talk about it? Top 5 favorite movies of all time. You go from your fifth, to the most important, which would be number 1. So let's start with your number 5. What's your number 5 favorite movie of all
Oh
time?
man, number 5. Well, first I have to say this. It's hard to choose. You know, you look at genres, you look at all sorts of ways of seeing your films, but like for me, it's just films that impacted me as a person, like something that maybe I fell in love with and I loved. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a movie that was like, you know, like an example would be like Shawshank Redemption. Like that movie was so amazing to me, but it's not my top 5.
Yeah.
But if you ask me how it was shot and all the things it was done and all that, it's way better than my top 5.
Okay.
But these are my top 5.
Yeah.
You know?
And we want to know your top 5. I think that's the most
Yeah.
important thing.
So in other words, I can appreciate a good movie. I just like certain movies for certain reasons. So I would probably go, and you're probably gonna laugh at this.
And we're not gonna go too fast. We want to savor them a bit.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Okay. So
I'm gonna start off with I'm going with Waterboy.
I love Waterboy, dude. Adam Sandler's so underrated. I think. Well, not anymore. I don't think
Sure.
he used to be underrated. I think now he's getting a lot of due where he's due, but. Waterboy for sure. Could you tell us a little bit of why Waterboy impacted you so much? It's on your top 5.
Huge football fan, huge Adam Sandler fan, and just something about that movie. It was so stupid funny, and I think some of the lines were just things that I could imitate his voice too, like "Oh, the Waterboy," you know, like I made so many people laugh from those lines that I think it just impacted me and it kept with me. And I mean, I literally, if that movie's on, it's on. I'm turning it on, that movie. I mean, yeah, it's a little silly. Now watching it, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what? But as a younger man, it was hilarious. It's still hilarious, but not as, you know what I mean?
No, Waterboy is a classic. It's 1998 American sports comedy film directed by Frank Corsi, and it was written by Adam Sandler as well as Tim Herlihy, and it was the cinematography was by Steven Bernstein, starring Adam Sandler, Kathy Bates, legend, Henry Winkler, a number of different people. Wonderful. That's amazing. What an amazing pick. Great pick. Wow.
Yeah.
Waterboy. That's crazy. Okay. So then what do you got for your number 4?
Oh, number 4. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go a different way. It's totally opposite from The Waterboy. It's The Notebook.
The Notebook. Nick Cassavetes, man. When I found out he directed that blew my mind. That's crazy. Okay, so The Notebook. Why is that? Why?
So believe it or not, I as a young man, I was I used to write poems for girls. I was all about love. And I think I took on that movie and it was like, oh, I'm going to find love like that one day, you know? And it was just very heartfelt, you know? And I always say this, someone said to me once, they said, what's the scariest movie that ruined you for the rest of your life? And I always respond, The Notebook. Because it makes us believe that we're going to find love like that, you know? And
that's so tough.
But I still love the movie. It was great.
It's such a classic. Rachel McAdams, I mean, it's amazing. The Notebook is a 2004 American romantic drama film directed by Nick Cassavetes with screenplay by Jeremy Levin and Jan Sardi, based on the 1996 novel of the same name by Nicholas Sparks. Film stars Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams, Kevin Connolly is in there. Got to throw that out there. James Garner, James Rowland, definitely. Or James, that's amazing. So sorry, James Garner, Gina Rowlands. Wow, The Notebook. Do you remember like seeing this? Like, what was your feeling behind this? Like when you first saw this, like
love. I remember my first poem I ever wrote was about a girl that broke my heart, and I on a vacation in the summertime camping. So it kind of I resonated with it, you know. And I always hoped that girl would come back in my life one day, and so I just went along with the movie because it was what I was living, but I never got to meet the girl again.
But the guy, she has like amnesia, right? Or like she has like some sort of dementia and she forgets things.
Yeah, at the end she has dementia, but they
and he's trying to tell her the story the whole time, right? Of their love.
He's keeping her keeps reminding her of their story, and so they go back and they watch how it all happened. I mean, if you stop and really think about it, though,
yeah,
she screwed him over, left him because he's too broke.
Yeah.
Then she turned around and she got herself a new man.
Yeah.
And then she dumped him and messed around with him again. It's like, really, if you look at it from that perspective,
she's kind of a horrible person, actually.
In a way.
But you still kind of love her, though, because
you find the love.
She's Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Rachel McAdams?
Gorgeous. That's
pretty awesome. Okay, so The Notebook. That's awesome. Coming in hot, number 4. What's your number 3?
Number 3, I'm gonna move over to another Adam Sandler movie.
Wow. Okay. So I'm seeing just a slight pattern here.
This is Click.
Whoa! I love Click. Tell us why.
Absolutely love Click because there's still some humor in it, but it really hit home because I was watching my nieces and nephews grow up right next to me during that time, and how quickly they grow. And when you're watching Click, you realize how fast life can get past you. And by the time you're there, it's over. And you gotta stop, fast forwarding, stop trying to make things go forward. And then using the humor behind it. And that was the first movie that I was like, Adam Sandler can be serious, even though he was funny in it, but it was a serious at that end, where he realized, I screwed up. It was just a great movie, heartfelt, and another one that I would keep on every single time it's on the TV.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. That is what a great pick. Click is a 2006 American comedy directed by Frank Corsi, again, written by Steve Coren, Mark O'Keefe, produced by the Sandman himself, Adam Sandler, starring Adam Sandler, Kate Beckinsale, Christopher Walken, Henry Winkler, David Hasselhoff, Sean Astin coming back in there. That's right. I remember that. That was such a good movie. I remember this being like it made a big splash in the box office too. The budget was $82 million, made $240 million in the box office. Cinematography by Dan Semler. What was amazing thing is that it was like one of those movies where it made you really think about like what could happen in your life if you really don't pull your thing together. Like what's important? Like, do you want to fast forward during sex? Do you want to fast forward during these moments when your kids are arguing? And, because every single time you have an argument, boom, it fast forwards. Every time you want to get past sex, it fast forwards. So it was just definitely a thing of like Pandora's box, or like a temptation of like, it was like a cautionary tale of what could happen if you're not careful. And it was just, completely fabricated and science fiction in a sense too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hilarious.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Wow. That's awesome. All right. So, Click. What do you got for number 2?
I'm going to jump to another twist, Serendipity.
Oh, wow. John Cusack.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Again, going into the love part, I believe in soulmates and finding somebody. And I had weird things happen to me. And in that movie, they said, hey, if you find this book with my writing in it, or here's my glove, if you find the other glove, then we're meant to meet. I just thought it was really cool in the way, and I've had some weird stuff happen. In fact, I don't know if you have time for me to share the story, but
sure.
All right. So I met a girl in LA. I was on the treadmill and she's next to me, and she didn't give me the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever. She's gorgeous, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I see her again, somewhere completely opposite in LA. Mm-hmm. And she's looking at me like, how do I know you? And then I just smiled and said, and kept going. And cause she didn't want to give me time of day. So then I'm standing in the airport getting ready to leave LA, and she's in line next to me. She looks over and I'm like, wow, what is the chances of this?
Someone's stalking someone.
Yeah, right. But we're both getting on a flight, and it wasn't the same flight. And she came. I didn't talk to her. I went over and I sat down to have my a drink before we were getting ready to leave. And she comes to me and she says, it's really crazy how I keep seeing you everywhere. I said, yeah. And I said, but I don't bother you because you didn't give me the time of day the first time. So it's all good. And she said, well, we should exchange numbers. And I was like, all right. I didn't think anything of it. I just took her number. She took mine. And we texted real quick to say, hey.
Wow.
She got on her flight. I got on my flight. Okay. I told her I was going to Florida. She told me she was going to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We land both. Didn't even know it. We ran into each other in Chicago.
Whoa.
We had to change flights. We changed flights. And during flight change, we crossed paths.
Whoa. So what does that mean?
So then she was like, what the hell? But we didn't. I thought it was really crazy too, but I didn't think anything of it. All right. She goes to New York. I go to Florida. I'm in Florida for 7 days. I go to meet a girl that I know really, really well. She's trying to get me to move to Florida. I realize it's not going to work with her. So now I'm even more interested in this if I see this girl again, because I realized I've seen somebody.
But you were thinking, you were like, oh my God, I might run into this girl again. If this happens, then.
Well, I have her number, So check this out. I'm in Florida for 7 days. I get on a flight to go home. I stop in Chicago. Guess who I run into in Chicago again?
It can't be this girl again.
It's this girl again, bro. I swear on my life. We're tripping. Like, what are the chances? We didn't talk about how long we were going to be gone. 7 days.
Wow.
And we're on the same flight.
Oh my God.
And
Whoa.
she asked if she could sit next to me. She switches seats with somebody.
Whoa.
And they were cool with it because it was a middle seat. So we're talking the whole way home. And I start telling her, I said, you know what? This is kind of crazy. Have you ever seen the movie Serendipity? She said, no, I haven't. And I said, yeah. And I started telling her about the whole story. And she's like, wow, that is trippy. This is really cool. We got to go out. And I was like, it's cool. Like, I don't know. I was playing hard to get, right? So we land and I'm walking with her to pick up luggage and she wants to stop talking to me now. And I'm like, what? She says her boyfriend is picking her up.
Oh.
And I was like, screw this girl. So I leave. I get a phone call from her an hour and a half later, and she's whispering. And I'm like, what? She goes, I just want to tell you something. My boyfriend brought me home, and as soon as we got home, he had to take his shower. And what's on the coffee table for tonight's movie night?
What?
The movie Serendipity. So guess what?
What does that mean? I'm confused.
She went on a date with me after that.
Okay.
And we went on a date. We had a great date. Even her mean dog, he was nice to me.
You went back to her house?
Yeah, we made out and everything. It was great.
Whoa.
And then I never heard from her again. So screw Serendipity, man.
Oh my God. But it is still number 2 on your list. So tell us a little bit about the movie and why it has a special place in your heart.
All right, I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said, though, it is number 2 on your list, right? Serendipity.
It was a joke.
So give us a little insight of why you like Serendipity so much. And
obviously, for obvious reasons, I just talked about the story about it. Really, I think it's such a great story. Seeing that happen, if I ended with the girl, that would have been such an awesome story to tell. Do I now believe that happens? No, because it happened and it didn't happen. So, but I just love those types of stories. It's a love story. It's awesome. Wow. And it sucks people in, and it sucked me in.
Wow. Yeah.
So now I just got to write like that now.
Do you remember the story?
Serendipity?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What's the story?
What do you mean? The story of Serendipity?
Yeah.
What, like the movie?
The movie, yes.
Yes, of course I remember. It's one of my favorite movies.
I know. What's it about? Like, if somebody didn't know about it, like, what could you quickly tell them about?
So this guy is in town, and he runs in the city, and he runs into this beautiful girl, and they connect, and he's like, whoa, and he wants to get to know her, but she's actually engaged. and she likes him, but she's like, I'm engaged. And then they talk, and he's like, well, it's okay. We can still talk. We're just friends. Mm-hmm. But then he's falling for her, and she's like liking him, and she's like, I'm not supposed to like him. I'm getting engaged. And then he says, well, we should meet each other again for coffee. And she goes, well, I shouldn't. But how about this? I believe in serendipity. So if we end up meeting again, why don't you take this glove and I'll have the other glove? Or here, I want to write in the book my phone number, mm-hmm. and I'm going to go sell it to a bookstore. Mm-hmm. And if one day you find that book and it comes back to you, that means we're meant to be.
Whoa.
And so he was on a mission to meet her again, and
he was going to every bookstore, or what?
Yeah, no, at first he didn't do the bookstore thing, or he kind of did. He would like always look every once in a while. Uh-huh. So then he went looking for her, and he never really found her. And then all of a sudden one day when he gave up, he's sitting in the airport or in the airplane flying back, leaving her. He's about to get engaged and married. And all of a sudden someone hands him the book, and there it is. It's got her phone number in it. So it's meant to be. And he turns around, flies back, and breaks up her marriage and stops his own.
Wow.
So
Kate Beckinsale, John Cusack. Wow. Serendipity is a 2001 American romantic comedy film directed by Peter Chelsom, written by Mark Klein, starring John Cusack, Kate Beckinsale, Jeremy Piven's in this, my boy, Jay Piv, and Eugene Levy. I love Eugene Levy, and Molly Shannon as well. This is a little hidden gem, and this is on Trent's number 2 on his favorite top 5 list of films of all time. Trent, what's your number 1, buddy?
You killing those girls. You weren't always like this.
Yes, I was. It's not my fault you didn't choose to see me for what I was.
Well, we could just leave this life behind. You said you wanted to start again in Mexico. We could do that. You and I.
No one knows how long, but according to my mom's source, females and kids go missing here often, with little to no investigation.
You don't even care if she's alive!
That man is nothing but a bunch of pointless mumble.
Do you remember when I told you something bad was going to happen? Too late.
Is this your backup, Captain? Starting him a little young, aren't you?
You better be good.
I know she's alive. I know she's out there.
I will do everything in my power to make your mom come back home to you.
Are you ready?
I was born semi-ready,
All I have to
but
say
I'm ready
before,
right now.
Before I say the name, I had to see it multiple times in theaters. I fell out of my seat laughing. I think it was a movie before its time. I think it rocked the nation with this off the wall comedy. The movie is Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
I'm sorry.
Original with Jim Carrey. Yes,
Dumb
and Jeff Daniels.
Carrey. Yes.
Or is it Jeff Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tell us why, please.
Dude, like I just said, the comedy, the timing. I mean, Jim Carrey was just something else, man. We didn't have someone like him. We weren't ready for comedy that he brought. And I'm not saying that he's as funny today as he was then. I think then it was just, we didn't have it, you know. He impacted me so much. I portrayed him in everything I did as an actor when I was young, you know. So, and Dumb and Dumber was huge, just huge. Loved it. Big time.
Tell us a little bit about Dumb and Dumber.
Come on, who doesn't know about Dumb and Dumber? We got these two dumbasses that are buddies that can't keep a job, and then end up what ends up happening? They get they meet a girl and they want to get her, and they think they have a chance, and they lose the money, and he wants to take the money and bring it back to her to save the day and save her, and all the shit that happens along the way. You know, I mean, the humor, the craziness, and then he finally gets to her, and he has no chance. You're saying I have a chance.
So there is a chance.
So you're telling me there is a chance.
Or that scene when he's like they're doing a fight, and like he grabs like the heart out of that guy's chest and then puts into a doggy bag and gives it to him because he's like having a dream sequence or something.
Yeah, he does a couple of those dream sequences.
My cousins would always say too, they would do like the fart thing with the lighter to make the flame go. I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Or like somebody would be like, you know, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yes, I was just gonna say that one.
Oh my gosh, dude! Seriously, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Do you remember seeing Dumb and Dumber for the first time?
Yeah, I was in the theater. I was with my sister and my best friend. I remember falling out of my seat on the ground, man. I was like, this is hilarious. Unbelievable.
We weren't ready. We weren't ready, as you said. I love that.
If that came out today, I don't think it wouldn't be as funny. I just think it just came out when it did, and it was
a good time. It was a 1994 American buddy comedy film directed by Peter Farrelly, one of the Farrelly brothers, who co-wrote the screenplay with Bobby Farrelly and Bennett Yellen, starring Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, Lauren Holly, Karen Duffy, Mike Starr, Charles Rocket. Cinematography by Mark Irwin. $17 million budget, made $247 million in the box office. That is huge, folks. So New Line Cinema really got a big one off of Dumb and Dumber. And I think this was also a huge one for Jim Carrey, as you said. This is a big one for him. So that's your number one. That's amazing. Great job. We did it. It seems like it's almost an impossible feat, but you know what? We did it. So now we're to the next part. Your number 5. It's all over again. It never ends. Well, it'll end eventually, but number 5, top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. What do you got? Start with 5.
Top 5 TV shows. That's rough, man.
Now these shows must have impacted you. They must have like made you who you are as a person, as a storyteller throughout your years. It's almost an impossible task, I know. But that's what we do here on Flashback Montage. We ask to do impossible tasks.
Number 5 TV shows. Thinking about like early days, because that's when I started, you know, it started impacting me, you know. You know, like I'm thinking about like
Let's go with something. We got to go with something.
No, I'm thinking about like I want to say like Flipper.
Flipper? Okay.
Remember Flipper?
I do.
I mean, like to come home to that every day and watch Flipper, bro. I mean, I don't know why.
Okay.
I'd look forward to going home to watch Flipper.
And we're talking about the 1964 Flipper?
Is it 64?
Or are we talking about the Elijah Wood movie, 1996?
No. I'm talking about the TV series.
Like 64 Flipper.
Yeah, maybe it was. I just remember it being on when I come home from school.
Okay, so it was on. You were watching Flipper. What were you thinking? How did it affect you, as a person?
I think it was because I was young and there's a dolphin that's like Lassie, Well, there's another good one. No, I'm just like this. I just thought it was very. How did they get a dolphin to do all these tricks? And back then, like, I don't know what it was. I used to really enjoy making sure I watched Flipper.
Wow. Okay. Do you remember any of the storylines that like
really
affected
don't.
you or anything?
I really don't. I just remember it was always it was always something Flipper had to go help make happen, and somehow there was always water around on this show, and I really don't know. I don't remember. I just remember always wanting to go run home and watch it. So you said things that impacted my life. I have to think about it.
Absolutely. Flipper. That's awesome. That's a good one. Okay, cool. Awesome. What's your number 4?
Let's go with Facts of Life.
Facts of Life. Give us a little heads up on that one.
Facts of Life had all those women the girls that lived in the house with what was her name? Drawing a blank. I know Joe was my favorite Facts of Life girl.
Is that a cat in the background?
Yeah, it's trying to get out. Blair, Joe. What is her name? What is the lady's name that watched all the girls? It's like a foster home.
Oh, is that what it was? It was a foster home.
Yeah, it was like a foster home, and it was just like the story of their lives and things that they had, the trials and tribulations they had to get through, and what is her name? Miss someone out there right now is watching this and they're yelling the name right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Miss Garrett. Mrs. Garrett.
Okay.
Garrett reminded me of my grandmother. So when I watched it, when you can understand, you remind of grandma, and then Joe was this. What's weird is Joe was like this Fonzarelli style girl. And I liked her out of the girls that were all pretty girls.
Oh, the tough one, the tough, cool one.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool or kind of different. I don't think I would have picked her today. So that's Facts of Life. That was another cool one.
Interesting. Okay, Facts of Life. Wonderful. What else you got? Number 3.
See, I'm gonna go back all back in the day because you said impacting my life, so I got to go backwards. I will say though, one of my favorites is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Tell us about that show. What's that show about? Everybody probably knows, but like, what's
obviously Will Smith. It was his show based around him being in Beverly Hills, and they did a remake recently of that, and I enjoyed that too.
Is that good?
Yeah, it was good. I'd like to see more of that. Actually, it was more of a realist. Like this, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a little bit kooky, some comedy, but they did some serious moments, and I thought it was nice to do. But I also enjoyed rap when I was young, and he was a light rapper, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy the music. So I think I enjoyed the show, and it was the first of its kind, African American show. You didn't see stuff like that, and it was awesome to have that coming out.
And they were wealthy too. They were pretty well off. Yeah. They weren't poor black. You know what I mean? They were like rich, African American family that was just killing it. And yeah, he was funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow. It was good. It was good stuff. And that was his debut, I think. I don't know, unless he did some other stuff I don't know about, but and then he turned out to be a really good actor overall. Before he turned and dissed himself recently, I've always thought highly of him as an actor. I still do. I'm not saying I don't.
What do you think of the whole thing that happened at the Oscars where he slapped Chris Rock? What's your opinion on that?
I'm really disappointed that he did that. Like, I lost a lot of respect for him. I didn't realize it in the moment that I lost the respect for him. I was like, oh, dang, what? And then the more I think about it or thought about it, the more I was just like, man, I used to look highly up to, I don't look up to many people, I really don't at all. And not saying I don't see people, but like for me to look up to them higher than me, I think everyone's equal to me in my mindset. But I looked up to him, and now I don't as much. You know, it sucks because I really loved him in a lot of movies. I still do. Oh, that's another good movie I should put in my top 5. No, we're gone.
Yep. Maybe we'll have you back.
Yeah. So yeah.
Fresh Prince. That's awesome. That's a good one. I've always loved Fresh Prince. I've always thought Will Smith was super funny. I know now he's kind of making a turn to be more dramatic, and even more dramatic in live events, apparently. So, but good for him. All the best to him, honestly. You know, it is what it is. Okay, so what is your top 2? Number two.
Oh, should I go backwards again? I might have to. Only because, so here's the thing. I didn't watch much TV most of my life. It was early years I watched TV. Movies were my thing. Movie buff. And then just recently I started watching the TV again because of all these new, the Fire Stick has everything, right? All these apps. But impacting my life, I'm going to bring it back to the Cosby Show.
Oh, nice. Okay, tell us why. What's that show about, and why do you like it?
I don't know. It was telling a story back then that wasn't in front of me. It wasn't something that I saw, and it was a story that I could follow, and it was a story that I could, learn. Like, I'm not like the typical, I want to watch this because I feel like I'm that person in that moment. Like I did that with the Serendipity, but that was only because I was that was happening. But
right, it happens sometimes. Yeah, not in this case.
Yeah, I like something that takes me out of my world and makes me see another world. So that was seeing someone else's world. It's kind of like the Prince of Bel-Air. Like I didn't know the rich world, and I also didn't know that world. So like it was nice to see. And the Cosby Show, I don't know what it was. I love Bill Cosby too. As a comedy or a comedian, I loved him. So it was just nice to see. It sucks about him too.
I know, right? I was going to ask you, how do you feel about his situation? Do you feel like his legacy is tainted because of this?
It sucks. It just sucks. I mean, it's all I can say. It sucks that it happened. It sucks that people now just see him that way. And now, I mean, I don't know him personally. I don't know what really happened, so I can't sit here and say, he's a bad guy. I have to trust that.
And he was convicted, right? Wasn't he convicted?
I mean, he was. Isn't he in jail?
They let him out, I believe, because he's like super end of life, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's rich. Obviously, that's probably the real deal.
Yeah.
If you're old and poor, they don't give a shit. They're like, yeah, just die in prison. But if you're rich, as Cosby, they're like, yeah, okay, we'll let you go. You could die in your house. You got a year left to live? And he's been going for like at least a few more years. He's got some steam. He's got some steam. Cosby's classic. I don't like watching the show at all. I don't watch much TV, but I wouldn't go and look for this show. Not because it wasn't funny. I did watch this a lot when I was a kid, but I can't watch Bill Cosby in the same aspect that they put him. You know what I mean? Like they put him in a very high-spirited way. Like you come out watching that show like you really respect him. And it's kind of a mind fuck, if you will.
Yeah.
So no, I don't watch the Cosby Show, but I can.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it today.
I can appreciate because it's number one. It's been a number one for a long time. You know what I mean? It was a powerhouse. It won awards. It was, especially being an African American show, prime time. And he was a doctor. I think. Was he a dentist?
Doctor, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Again, just how things can come out and they can just kind of tarnish your whole thing,
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
That's crazy. Well, number one has been revealed, the Cosby Show. That is amazing. This takes us in to our next segment. This we call.
I didn't say number one, did I?
Didn't you say number one was the Cosby Show?
No, I thought that was number two.
Oh man, my bad. You're right. I skipped that too quick, dude. What is your number one, Trent? Number one.
You know what's I have to tell you, I'm going to fast forward now from all my TV shows.
Nice.
I'm going to say that the one that impacted me is because it's changed me today, because I have been doing nothing but writing from after this. Is when I watched Breaking Bad.
Whoa, that's not the first time we've heard this on the show. Give us a little rundown of Breaking Bad and why it means so much to you.
Breaking Bad, to take a guy who was just trying to figure it out and get himself back on track, and he was a good dude, made him do stuff he didn't want to do and he had to do, and then it turned him into what he was, and you still liked him and you still cheered for him even though he was doing bad stuff. And it just shows everybody that, look, man, just because we do bad things doesn't mean we're bad people. You know, sometimes we got to make those choices. But I'm not saying it's a good idea to do it all, but it's good for TV. It's good for TV, and it impacted me because it made me go, okay, I have some ideas for some shows. You know, being a writer and an aspiring producer. Back then I was aspiring to do it. I realized I can do it. It's time to do it. So I've just been nothing but trying to think of shows that make that same impact. So
Breaking Bad is super heavy. It's like they kind of teach you how to launder money and do cocaine and sell methamphetamines, launder money and actually make methamphetamines as well. I think they say that the government like reached out to them and was like, hey, we got to make sure we're not really showing people how to launder money and make meth.
Well, you know what you think about it, their show was so good that it made 2 more shows, the spinoffs.
True.
2.
It's like it made a whole world.
Yeah. And then I believe that it caused other people to write other things.
Oh, for sure.
Like Ozark, you know, money laundering.
100. Love Ozark.
Totally spin off. Yeah, Ozark's one of my top 2. But I didn't want to have to throw that in there. It would have been the same as far as the same thing goes.
Yeah, Ozark's great. Love it. Love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is super sick. It's one of those that's just kind of like, it's a classic. You know, you got a lot going on with all the different characters, you know, with his brother-in-law. His wife, though, oh my gosh, I can't stand her. What's it, Robin?
Yeah.
Is that her name? Yeah. Oh gosh, dude. She must be a great actress because I just can't stand her character. It's a pain. And it's not, I don't think it's because she's a bad actress. I think it's just because of her character, maybe, you know?
But I think it helped it flow. I mean, you didn't want her to be too likable.
Right. They probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Awesome. Well, this brings us into our next part, the hot spots. This is where we talk about different hot movies and TV shows from a certain year. This is a particularly favorite year of mine, 1994. Trent has gotten. So top movies in 1994. These were the top movies. Okay, Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, for sure.
Do any of those movies hit you in a certain way? Do you relate to any of those movies specifically?
Well, yeah, Forrest Gump specifically.
Tell us why.
It impacted me because back then I used to work at a after school program, and being an actor as well, I used to imitate Forrest Gump, and I didn't like to do creative activities inside. I like to do fun activities outside, but when I was inside, I had to do creative activities. So my creative activity was sit down with Forrest Gump, and I would just act like Forrest Gump, and the kids would ask me questions, and it got to the point where they insisted Forrest Gump come and play with them. And I had the whole freaking school sitting there with me, and all the other teachers were like, what are we doing? So it was always fun. It was fun. I loved Forrest Gump. I'm not a huge fan of the actor in Forrest Gump.
Tom Hanks?
Not at all. Not a fan of him at all. But that movie was so good that I forgot who he was. And
wow. So he did a good job.
Yeah, that says something.
That says something.
Same goes with Green Mile too. Hated him in it.
Hate's a strong word.
Okay, hate's a little too much. I didn't like that he was in it, and then I watched it and I loved it.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks,
something like
dude.
that.
I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan, bro. He's hilarious. He's so relatable.
You know, I have to tell you.
And you can play him so well. That's hilarious that you hate him, but yeah, you played him.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, who do you think created Forrest Gump, dude? He created all the mannerisms.
Do you know who almost became Forrest Gump?
Kevin Bacon.
No, it was I think John Travolta.
Okay. I think I heard something like that.
Then there's somebody else too. I forget who it was, but man. But no, Tom Hanks did a great job.
Yeah, true.
I guess I didn't like him. I used to go to a Loney College. And a Loney College, Tom Hanks was, I don't know if he was an alumni there or something, but he came to one of our galas to bless the new whatever. And he was just a complete jerk to everybody. And that was during my time when I was being impacted by it, you know? We're all looking forward to this guy coming. I wasn't a huge fan, but I still thought he was cool. And then it just kind of, when you firsthand pissed me off, especially in this business, I don't forget about it, you know? And it just sucks. And then some of the stuff I've heard makes me believe it now, you know? So I just, it is what it is.
Yeah. But Forrest Gump, still a great movie.
Great movie.
Okay. Any of the other ones? Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, any of those specifics? Like, do you feel drawn to those, or are they just kind of like, yeah, they're there?
You know, I mean, Shawshank's amazing. You can't. That's a great movie. I don't know how I can't relate to it, but like I just
not a lot of people.
You know, I haven't spent any time in prison. But you know, I was just thinking in 1994, didn't Dumb and Dumber come out? Because that was my junior year in high school. I think it did.
It did in 94. Yeah, it did come out.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
It did. Yes.
Nice.
No,
but yeah. And Pulp Fiction, it was ahead of its time. It changed the game a little bit in how we do things, how we shoot movies.
Tarantino,
totally
legend.
Yeah, no, it made a legend. Yeah, it just threw us for a loop. But I loved it. We used all the different lines from that. Like, what was that one with the cheeseburger?
Yeah, you know what they call a quarter pounder in France?
Something Royale,
no,
right?
because they got the metric system, so they don't do quarter pounds. So they call it a Royale with cheese.
A Royale with cheese.
And they take mayonnaise, and they love that shit over there, man. They just drench it. They drench their French fries in it, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Love it. Samuel Jackson, John Travolta, Bruce Willis, Harvey Keitel. Who else am I missing? So many wonderful people. John Travolta came back in that movie like a whole different way.
Like his comeback, right?
Yeah, that was his comeback. I love that. I love to see that as a filmmaker. I would love to do that. You know what I mean? Work with somebody who's out of the skirts a little bit, but bring him back in, you know, and have him just like kill in a whole way that's just in totally different, you know, fashion. And Bruce Willis in this, man, killing it with a katana, just mowing down Zed. Nuts. Pulp Fiction, man. Crazy. Okay, TV shows. Top TV shows in 1994 are Friends, ER, and My So-Called Life. Any of those shows get you going?
Friends is great. I mean, I think I'm Joey in that show. You know, like when I was a kid, younger, I was always the one that put on the Joey mentality compared to everybody else. I even got told, "Oh, you're like Joey from Friends." Whenever I did stuff, you know. So that movie always did have a little bit of an impact on me. And I had a little group of friends that were like that, you know, in a way. Since then, I've gotten away from that style of friendships. No, I'm sorry.
That style of friendships, that's hilarious. Friends is a classic, dude. I love Friends. Friends brought me, you know, to funny moments that just kind of kept me laughing, you know, even during sad times or, you know, whatever. It was like, I know I could throw on Friends and I just know that I would laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And when in doubt, Friends, even reruns, you can just watch that.
Exactly. Friends reruns too. It's like solid. Dope. What about ER? Anything? No?
No, I didn't really care for ER. I'm not really a big hospital fan or a doctor fan where watching shows like that. The only doctor fan one is House. That's the only one I used to like watching.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I just didn't get into it.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. New Amsterdam, I was into that. Trying to get into that a little bit more.
That got me. New Amsterdam, like the pilot of that got me going, man.
Yeah, dude, that pilot
That was
solid,
amazing,
dude. If
Felt
you want
like
to
a-
learn how to get a drama going with multiple characters, with great inner thread writing, watch New Amsterdam.
It felt like a grand finale.
For real. It was those pilots, they need to be sort of like grand finales, because that's like that initial like, oh yeah, oh whoa, okay, I see what's going on. We got to sell. We got a game. We got a show. All right. So the next part is we like to go into lifestyle coaches. Who was killing the game in 1994 as a lifestyle coach? And this brings us to Deepak Chopra. Born in 1946, is an Indian-American author, public speaker, and alternative medicine advocate. He gained widespread recognition in the 1990s with his best-selling books, including Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Chopra's teachings integrate Eastern and Western philosophies, focusing on personal growth, consciousness, and mind-body healing. He has written over 80 books, many which have been translated into multiple languages. As a popular speaker and media personality, Chopra has shared his insights on spirituality, holistic health, and mind-body connection with a global audience. So through his work, he's met both praise and criticism. He remains an influential figure in the world of alternative medicine, self-help. Any do you know, are you familiar with Mr. Chopra's work?
I am not, actually.
Interesting. Do you follow a motivational speaker or self-help person? Anybody that you like or that you wanted to shout out that you follow?
Well, I follow what's his name?
What is his name?
On my Instagram, I have Tony Robbins is always one of my.
Of course,
favorites.
TR. He's a well-known person on our podcast.
He's always been somebody I liked, especially because he's tall.
Yes, because you're tall too, right?
Yeah, I'm tall, so I have to feel like
tall people like tall people.
Exactly.
They have
to. What's his name? Gary V.
Oh yeah, Gary V. Okay, what's up?
Yeah, I enjoy watching Gary V. I think because he shoots you straight. I just like that. Some people don't. Some people like that he swears. I'm like, come on, man.
TR swears too. Tony Robbins swears too.
Yeah. Why did he start swearing more when Gary V came along, though?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it started popping a little bit more because it was more okay to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not so like kind of taboo or whatnot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I'm a big Dwayne Johnson fan, and although he doesn't like only do that, but part of how he does what he does on his social media platform, it is kind of a way to follow someone in their impactful lives all across the board. So I think he's another one that's a good person to just have in your life.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's really awesome.
Positive role model.
So as we go into wrapping up our episode, do you have any final statements that you'd like to say about your picks and kind of what we've talked about, and just in general about how film and TV, it's very important, to have these things in your life if you're interested in storytelling, and this is a great medium for storytelling.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're doing in your life. And also there's certain genres for everyone. And that's why there's so many different channels to choose from. We all have our own needs and wants, and we all go to where we feel we fit. I think it's great to see other people's perspectives. It helps us helps us in our lives, in our daily lives, to be able to watch a show that may have a perspective that we don't see from, and be open-minded and watch shows to learn, and also know that they are shows. They are not necessarily real. So don't take everything too serious. But one point, it is real somewhere in someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget that either. But yeah, movies, it takes you out of reality. Just know that you need to come back to your reality and get in your reality and not play like you are in the movie. That's about it, man.
Wow. Powerful stuff. All right. So what I like to do is before we end, I like to surprise our guests with something that's really quick. So I sent you something in your email. So you should have received it in your business email.
I'm getting paid for this?
So let me know if you have gotten
in my is it a direct deposit slip? I'm getting paid for this? I didn't know that.
I don't know anything about that either, but there's a different surprise.
Oh, what the hell, boy.
All right. So what we're going to do, I like to do a frozen read with all of my guests. They don't know this is going on. This is really their reaction when they find it, when they see this. So you're going to be Forrest Gump and I'm going to be Lieutenant Dan. And this is in the interior of the shrimp boat day. Are you ready to do this?
Hold on. I got to get into character.
He's ready. All right. You ready? Okay, no time to get into character. Interior, shrimp boat day. Forrest Gump is on his shrimp boat with Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan is adjusting to his new life without legs, and Forrest is doing his best to help him.
Lieutenant Dan, what do you want to do now that we're shrimping?
Forrest, I never thanked you for saving my life.
But you ain't got no legs.
Lieutenant Dan. Yes, I know that, Forrest. But I'm still here, and I'm still alive, and it's because of you.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Lieutenant Dan. You're my friend.
I'm gonna help you make this shrimping boat successful, Forrest. We'll make it work, and then we'll see what life has in store for us.
Well, that sounds good, Lieutenant Dan. We'll be a great team.
Oh my God. Reacting to this touching scene between Forrest and Lieutenant Dan highlights an evolving friendship between two characters.
I want to keep going, man. Next scene.
No, that's funny that you say that because actually I've never done this before. But because it's my favorite year, 1994, I sent you a second one.
Oh, no.
Let me know when you got it.
Hold on, I gotta go back to my email.
He said, "Oh no!" He said, "Give me another one."
Pulp Fiction. Oh shit!
All right, number 1994. Remember, they're hot. They're hot in 1994. All right, interior diner day. Jules and Vincent are sitting in a booth and a diner discussing an earlier event involving a miracle. They dressed in casual clothes, having ditched their suits after a messy job.
Now, this Jules is what's his name?
John. Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been dead, man. I know we witnessed a miracle. I want you to acknowledge it.
All right. It was a miracle. Can we go now?
No, man, I'm serious. I'm gonna walk the earth like Kane in Kung Fu. I'm gonna go to town, meet people, get adventures.
So you're gonna be a bum?
No. I'll just be Jules, Vincent. No more, no less.
All right, Jules. Good luck with that.
Do you know what Ezekiel 25:17 says? The path of the righteous man be beset on all sides by the inadequacy of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
So you're just going to quit being a hitman just like that? Yeah. I've heard you recite it before.
I'm trying real hard to be a shepherd, Vincent. I think witnessing that miracle was a sign for me to change my ways.
So you're just going to quit being a hitman just like that?
Yeah, man. I've had enough. I think there's more to life than what we're doing here.
Well, I hope you find what you're looking for, Jules. Just don't forget where you came from. Oh, snap, dude. We did it again, bro. We did it on the flashback montage. Dude, thank you so much for being our guest, Trent. Do you have any last things of what you're saying, what you got going on that you want to throw it out to the audience and let them know?
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff going on. Come and follow me on Trenton Brisco at Instagram, and you'll see it all there, man. I'll send you to my IMDb and all that. And just got a lot happening. Pilot putting together, other things putting together. It's just so many things. And I don't want to spill it all right now. Just follow me. It's
Awesome.
coming.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, thank you again for being on, Trent.
Appreciate the invite, brother.
Absolutely. So as we do this, we come to an end on another wild ride through the reels of time with Flashback Montage. It's been hell of a trip, my friends, as we've revisited the most iconic movies, TV shows, and cultural moments of the past with a fresh, irreverent eye. We've laughed, cried, and maybe even learned a thing or two along the way. But the journey never truly ends, does it? And there's always another year and another moment in time to explore. So keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and your heart receptive. And join us again next week for another installment of Flashback Montage. Until then, stay weird, stay curious, and keep the nostalgia alive. And Trenton, thank you again.